Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto with Adam Ronis, and we're doing a Cincinnati Bengals team outlook. Ronis, I've been seeing tweets right there and in social media, and it seems like every single day people are bashing Joe Mixon. I just wrote an article on Scout Fantasy Sports. I kind of like Joe Mixon this year. Am I missing something?
No, I think it's the price. I think going into this year, when you saw the performance of Mixon last year, my initial thought was, okay, he's going to be pretty cheap. Maybe I can get him in round 3. And I think that's a good spot. But I have seen him go earlier in drafts. I saw a draft the other day where he went 19th overall. So in that spot, to me, that seems a little bit early. If I can get him late second round, early third round, I feel better about it. Obviously, in that scenario, you're looking at him as an RB2, which I think is probably what you want and what's ideal. Now, it's difficult to look at what he did last year and cite that as, oh, Mixon stinks, because we know they had a change in offensive coordinator early in the year when Bill Lazor took over. The yards per carry sucked, but the offensive line was bad. They made a couple of additions, free agency, Cordy Glenn in the draft, drafted a center. So obviously things should be better for him this year, and we know the talent.
All right, so let's also start out with, they did this stupid thing where they had dumpster fire Jeremy Hill starting games. Joe Mixon was barely getting in the second quarter. Then it was hard for him to rev up. Then when he finally made a good play, I mean, did you watch any of the Bengals games? It seemed like half of his big plays were brought back on holding penalties. I don't think we saw the true Joe Mixon last year. I don't think we even got close to what he can do.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because I like the talent coming out of college as well, and I think a lot of people did last year, but the team context just wasn't there for him last year. The offensive line, again, should be better. I mean, is it going to be great? No, but it'll be improved. And Mixon is going to get the workload. That's the key. He's going to be the running back in this backfield. It is up to him now to perform. And also, I did see Pro Football Focus had him with the easiest running back schedule this year. And I know that changes throughout the year. You don't want to look too much at the schedule earlier in the year because we know there are going to be some defenses that we thought were going to be good that aren't, and vice versa. But there are signs pointing to Mixon. But I really thought he would be a little bit cheaper this year. I'm surprised people are taking him in the middle of the second round.
I think those are sometimes dynasty drafts. But getting back to the Cincinnati Bengals running backs, Giovanni Bernard is a good runner, but he can't withstand the pounding of the NFL. So I give the guy about 100 carries, maybe about 40 receptions. Mark Walton was a 4th-round pick out of University of Miami. The guy runs a 4.6 40. I don't think Mixon's in danger of losing his job. And every time, Ronis, I watch a YouTube video of how good he was at Oklahoma, I'm blown away. I'm with you. I don't know if I take him 18, but if I'm picking 23 or 24, I might take him on the turn there.
Well, we know this year, you've already seen it. We've seen the ADPs. Running backs are going early. You're pretty much seeing 9 of the 12 first-round picks are running backs. So that means they're all getting pushed up the board. So Mixon is someone that you're probably going to have to consider based on what we're seeing right now, unless things change, in the late second round. If that's your RB2, especially if you take one of those elite running backs in the first 4 or 5 picks, the David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, if you can get him as your RB2 there and then come back in the third round and get a solid wide receiver, that's a good start to your draft. Right? Don't you pay, when you look at pairings, Mixon with one of those top backs, right? You're not relying on him to do too much.
You give me Le'Veon Bell and Joe Mixon, I'm winning a bunch of championships. There's no doubt about that. So let me bring out another guy who was a first and second round player for the last few years, A.J. Green. Look, Bill Lazor is coming in as the offensive coordinator. I think he has 2 priorities. 1, running the football, and 2, making Andy Dalton better than mediocre, because Andy Dalton's been terrible. Where are you drafting A.J. Green this year?
You know, Green is very interesting. He was a disappointment last year, but he still was top 5 in targets in the NFL. And what are we looking for in fantasy football? Opportunity. It's going to be there for Green. He will be 30 by the time the season starts, and the numbers were disappointing last year. But if Ross can be healthy on the other side because of his speed, the defenses have to shift some attention to him, and that will open it up for Green. Remember, they really had nothing on this offense outside of A.J. Green. If you're the defensive coordinator, your job is, all right, we're taking A.J. Green out. We're going to make life difficult for him. So it should be a little bit better for him this year. He's going basically early second round, mid-second round. I'm fine with that because I think A.J. Green is better than what we saw last year.
You mentioned John Ross. I think he is so important to this offense, as is Tyler Eifert. Look at it this way. You didn't have Ross. You had no speed threat. You covered A.J. Green, and then you put extra guys in the box to stop Joe Mixon. You didn't have Tyler Eifert over the middle. You didn't have Ross going deep. You had a whole lot of problems. Tyler Boyd is good, not that good. You know, Brandon LaFell's not a star. John Ross might be the pivotal player to this offense. If he can beat some guys deep, they may be finding Green and Mixon and Eifert with more lanes and room.
And that's just his presence on the field, just him being there. He doesn't even need to put up big numbers. He just has to be the threat. So the defense is aware that he's there, and they say, we have to account for him. He's real fast. When he ran a 4.2 at the combine. So just his presence on the field alone. Now, he'll be better in best ball drafts, obviously, because if he is healthy, he's capable of his speed of having a 60-yard touchdown catch on a given week. And when you're playing during the season, until we see how he's incorporated in the offense, you're just not going to know to start him on a given week. So in a best ball format, and he's not going to cost much. Now, the key guy that you brought up, Tyler Eifert, he's going to be cheap this year, but you cannot take him as a tight end one. He's got to be your backup tight end where he doesn't cost much, but there has to be concern. He's missed 40 games over the last 4 years, and he's had 2 back surgeries now.
Or do you take him as your tight end 1 and then take a tight end 2 earlier in your draft? Because when Eifert plays, he's such a difference maker. I mean, this dude is so big and strong and with good hands. I mean, he's an 8-touchdown guy if he's healthy.
Yeah, he's been a big red zone threat. Ideally, I think if I was looking at his ADP, I think he's going outside the top 12, if I'm not mistaken, or right around there. And obviously it's early ADPs. We're here in early June. Things can change, especially if he's there in training camp and he looks good. But I think most people, when you bring up Tyler Eifert, they're going to say, I'm out. And you can understand that. But we're talking about price here. He's going to be cheap. So you could do what you said and take him and then flip him with another tight end real quick. You can do that, or you could do the opposite where maybe you get someone else ahead of him and then take him the next round. But I think
what if I did Eifert and came back with like Trey Burton, boom, boom, 12-13? I'd be okay with that.
You can do that, and you got to hope that, you know, Burton can get that target share there. I know Adam Shaheen, they were there drafted. I mean, I like Burton. I mean, I think we all do from what we've seen with him in Philadelphia. Now it's a matter of him getting the target share opportunity now in Chicago.
All right, the guy that's the most confounding player to me is Andy Dalton. I want to like Andy Dalton, dude, and I think that, you know, as a quarterback in a best ball, certainly he's a guy that I'm rostering. But in a regular straight fantasy football league, I don't know if he makes my team in a 2-quarterback, you know, unless it's a 2-quarterback league.
Yeah, look, the quarterback is just so deep this year that there's no need to target a guy like Andy Dalton. Like you said, in a best ball format, he probably is right around the 22 to 24 range. So your second quarterback, if you're playing in a league with 1 quarterback and you only draft 1, you don't want Dalton to be that guy. He can put up numbers for sure if this offense does come together and the pieces are there. If Ross is healthy, if Eifert is healthy, and the running game gets better and the offensive line is clicking, sure. But he's not someone you're targeting at all. He's a guy that you're just taking very late in the draft as your backup quarterback. And he's not even top 20 to me. I think he's outside the top 20.
I think so too. I don't think he throws enough, and he doesn't have enough confidence in his own arm. I just don't see where the touchdowns are coming from. But I'll tell you this. If you like this overview, you know where you find the best overviews, Ronis? Scout Fantasy Sports. Have you seen what Sean Childs is doing there?
It's amazing. I mean, does Sean spend the entire day on one team because it's so in-depth and you learn so much? And even if you're not a fantasy player and you're just an NFL player, I think his outlooks help you. And it's good to do it now here in early June. You know, a lot of people think it's still early, but for anything in life, you got to put in the work if you want to have success. And by reading those each day, even if you do 2 a day, I mean, by the time July comes around, you're good to go. And you're going to be ahead of your competition. There are people who only start their football prep in August. Those are the people that lose. We want you guys to be ready. You don't need anything in front of you. Come August and your real drafts, you're good to go. And that's why we help preparing you right now between your stuff, my stuff, and Sean. Come on, man. You can't lose.
Yeah, you really can't lose. And if you don't want to lose, you go to playffwc.com right now. We've got best ball drafts. We have online championships. We have the Fantasy Football World Championships, whether it's online or in person. You come to Las Vegas. You hang out with me and Ronis. You draft with us in Vegas. We had a great time, Ronis. Good time last year, right? I can't wait to go back this year.
And look, I know people will say you're just saying that because you work for the company. You know me. I don't sugarcoat things. It was fun. Like, I kind of wish I went there before, but obviously working in different places, couldn't get out to Vegas. But that was a real good time, great camaraderie. people that listen to our shows and our content are out there. We all hang out. It was really a good job. And you've been around for a few years now. Did you think the Palms was the best one? Because all the feedback from everyone I heard, they all loved it.
Yeah, no, I thought the Palms was the best one. And we were drafting in suites. The food was better than anywhere else.
Oh, it was good. I had the good steak too. I don't know if you got that.
The food was good. The people were good. And it was like, I don't know how to describe it, because drafting in a big ballroom is okay, but drafting in those suites was way more fun.
Yeah, and then, of course, the Thursday night game, we're all there watching it together, food, drinks. It's just a real good time. Yeah, girls too. Is my girlfriend around? No, she's not. But and then Sunday.
Where are you?
And then, of course, on Sunday, watching football to open the season. It was a really good time. I'm really looking forward to it. And if you guys haven't been out there, I implore you to come join us. You'll have a great time. You won't regret it.
Absolutely. All right, I'm Dr. Roto. He's Adam Ronis. We work for ScoutFantasySports.com. That's where you can find us. And we're back with more in the future, talking fantasy football.